Hello everyone. Yes, welcome back. We have completed unit 1 of lesson number 5 in the previous session. I hope you went through that video and you got a brief idea of all that the chapter is. Let's discuss the brief summary of this chapter so that it make your vision more apparent and you can understand the story properly in the long run. So let's see what happens over here. In this story what happens is that you've understood very properly. There was a boy whose name was Claude, okay, and there was a narrator, and this is a girl, Claude. Her name is not revealed in the story, okay, so that is why only narrator, okay, I. So she is the sister, then she has a brother, her name is Claude, this is he, and then they have their father, okay. Clear? Where do they live? They live in the island. Okay. His father is the owner of a big lighthouse. There is the lighthouse in the family. Okay. They used to live, I told you where? This you understood, no? Big Half Moon is the name of the island. Clear? So they used to live in where? In the Big Half Moon. Clear? They used to live in an island and the name of the island was what? Big Half Moon. Okay. And his father was the keeper of a lighthouse. You have seen a lighthouse in horror movies? Yes. In the horror movies you have seen what is lighthouse. Okay. Similarly, his father is the keeper of this lighthouse. And clear? This much? Okay. Do you think family is important? To keep relations is important with everyone? Or is it very much necessary that no need to keep any kind of relations? Keep a secluded life with your own mobiles, your own laptop, okay, internet world, social networking sites. Is that enough? Or you have to have a connection with at least someone? Yes? Yes? Of course you must have a connection with everyone. What is that life if you don't? Because human is a social animal. Isn't it so? We say human is a social being. That means he has to have a connection with everyone. Otherwise life has no meaning. It is unfruitful. Understood? Similarly, they understood this. That life is not only limited between father, I and my brother. We must have to have a connection with our own relatives. Then only we can have a very fruitful life. So what happened was that these children, both of the siblings, okay, they were very much like keen to have a good relation with everyone. They want to have good friends, okay, they want to have good neighbors. But what was the pain? What was the problem? The pain and problem was that his father did not have any relations with everyone. His father even did not like to have a kind of relation with anyone. Then what did his father like? His father only liked to keep a very secluded life, a life limited within them only. Clear? But in the contrary, what did the children like? Children like to have a very kind of a very like a good life where they have good connections with families, friends. Okay? So father and bacche both are totally different mindset. Father right, bacche left. Clear? Now see what happens. Why did his father choose? Why does it happen that किसी को अपना एक अलग लाइफ पसंद है, किसी को सदमा लग जाता है, अकेला हो जाता है क्लास में? Understood? It can be anything. Understood? Now the small students, they can have any kind of problems, any relationship problem, this and that, family problem, this and that. So what happened? They become a very कोई बच्चा होता है बात करते करते दूसरे दिन से they become a very secluded life, बात ही नहीं करता किसी से. So might be father को कुछ ऐसा हुआ होगा. Might be the father had that kind of experience with anyone. Might be someone betrayed him or cheated on him or something might have happened. So the thing was that his father also liked to have relation with everyone. But what happened was that his father used to live with his one brother and one sister. Okay? The name of the sister was Aunt Esther. Okay, and his father had a brother also. Clear? So one day what happened was that his father had a quarrel with them. बहुत कहने की बात है. his father had a quarrel with them, and in anger his father left the home and he never returned back. Clear? So his father had a quarrel with their brother and sister, and his father left the home. After many times when his father returned back to home, he found that his brother had died and his sister was missing. Clear? His brother had died and his sister was missing. Now the family had totally collapsed. Three of them went in three different directions, and that is why his father went into pain and sorrow, and that is why his father started living alone, that I have no one. Understood? So that is why his father did not have any kind of relations with anyone, and that is why his father used to live with his children only. Clear? With his children only. So this is the story. Clear? But what happens? What happens one day, you will understand. That is a mystery I will not tell you. That you will understand afterwards the story. So let's start. Students, get ready with your books. Unit 2, page number 40. Let's see what happens out here. It was always lovely on the big half moon in summer. So it is said that it was very lovely in the big half moon in the summer. When it is fine, the harbor is blue and calm with little wind and ripples. So it is said that everything is fine out there. The harbor. Harbor means where ships are anything, where ships and everything is kept, understood, a port kind of thing, or the nearby place of a river is known as a harbor. So everything is good. The harbor is quite blue and calm. Calm means peaceful, tranquil. Okay, with little wind, slight wind and ripples. Ripples, you know, when you throw a stone in the water, you see ripples on the water. So that is ripple. Yeah. So this was the weather in the big afternoon. Every summer we had some hobby. So summer was a very good season, I told you, and winter was not, because in the winter all of them they used to go to a different part. Okay, into the different place, that is the mainland, and again into the summer they used to come into the island. So mainland and island. Okay, so now you can see every summer we have some hobby. The last summer before Dick and Mimi came, we were very crazy about kites. Okay, so Dick and Mimi, who are they? They are the children of Aunt Esther. Okay, so Dick and Mimi. So both of them are the children of Aunt Esther. Clear? Clear? Who was Aunt Esther? Aunt Esther was the sister of Claude's father. Both of them were brother and sisters. They were siblings. Okay. Clear? Goodness. See, so this is, they are siblings, clear? And father had his one brother and a sister. Brother died and sister was missing, hence the family broke up. But Aunt Esther had two little children, Dick and Mimi. So Dick, Mimi, Claude and the narrator, all of them, they were the bacha party in the family. Okay, understood this much? So what happened was that every summer we had some different hobby. Every summer they used to plan a different activity. The last summer before Dick and Mimi came, we were crazy about kites. So the last summer, what they were doing, they were very much crazy about to fly kites. You have seen islands. What happens in an island? Island, you know, tapu. What do you say that? A deep, which you say, understood? Deep, samudra deep. So what happens in that island? Basically, the weather is very much good. The wind is very much good. So it is very much like pleasant to fly kite out there in that kind of a weather. So what happened? The last summer, they developed a hobby of flying kites. Clear? Now see what happened. A boy on the mainland showed Claude how to make them. Back on the island, we made plenty of kites. Claude would go around to the other side of the island and we would play shipwreck, rhino signaling to each other. Now see what happened was that he said that when Claude went to the different part of the island, so that time Claude had learned somehow to make kites. Okay, so what happened was that Claude started making kites and what happened? They started playing with kites into the mainland, into the island. Okay, so both brother and the sister, they used to fly kite and play into the island. Clear? So they said that. Clear? And what they used to play? Which game? Underline. They used to play shipwrecked mariners. Okay, they used to play what? Shipwrecked mariners. Understood? So shipwrecked mariners was the game that both the brother and sister used to love playing with each other. Understood? Now, second paragraph, we had a kite that was big and covered with lovely red paper. We pasted gold tinsel stars over it and had written our names on it. Claude let, Philippa let, big half moon lighthouse. So now what they did, they loved playing kites. So what they did was that they made a beautiful kite with a red paper and then they decorated it with different tinsel stars, small stars, okay, chunky glittering stars. And after completing it, they wrote their names on the kite with big marker in the big form bold letters. उन्होंने अपने नाम भी लिखे. Clear? They had written their name, the place where they stayed, big half moon, and you can see in this picture the diagram has been given. Okay, so the kite was a big red kite. Now see, one day there was a grand wait for kite flying. I'm not sure how it happened, but as I was bringing the kite from the house, I tripped and fell over the rocks. Okay, now it was a bad luck. They made the kite, they decorated the kite, and when he was coming with the kite, or she was coming with the kite, the narrator, she tipped on a rock, over a rock, and she fell down. Clear? And then what happened? The kite, it tore up. Clear? And then what happened? And his elbow, his hand, went inside the kite. And that means what? The kite was damaged. The kite was having a big hole now. Clear? Because the narrator fell over the kite. Now what to do? The wind was so good outside, the kite was torn and tattered. Now what to do? Now they rushed to the home because they had to repair the kite very soon before the wind fell. Understood? So now see what happened. We rushed into the lighthouse to get some paper. We knew there was no more red paper. We took the first thing that came handy, an old letter lying on the bookcase in the sitting room. Now what happened? They rushed home because they had to now repair the kite before the wind fell. So what they did, they were searching what to paste. So they bought a piece of paper. Okay, that was basically a letter. I'll tell you, there's a secret about this letter. So they got that letter in the sitting room and they rushed because they were in a hurry because they had to repair the kite. They took that letter, they pasted it on the kite properly with the glue and then they dried it in the fire. Understood? Properly they dried it, sukha diya usko अच्छे से in the fire, and then what happened was that we started out and up went like a bird. It was a glory, the wind was glorious and it soared. Now what happened? It was a good weather, everything was successful, the kite got repaired, and then what happened? They rushed back again to the island, they started flying the kite. But again it was a bad luck. What happened? The kite got backlash. Understood? The kite got detached from the main, what you say that is a cord which you have in the hand. You have no that latai or what you say that. Okay, that is a cord. So what happened is that basically the wind was so, the kite was started flying very properly, the kite flew very properly, but after some time what happened? The kite got detached from the rope, the string, and then the kite flew somewhere else. It was a bad luck. मैंने से बनाया, kite उड़ाया थोड़ा सा, kite टूट के कहीं और चला गया. Where did the kite went? Kite island से उड़ करके it went to the mainland. It went to the mainland. यहाँ पे U-turn है, story का history क्या है? It went to the mainland जहाँ पे सभी रहते थे. Understood? वो लोग island में रहते. Mainland where everybody lived. The kite went and stuck over in a tree in a mainland. Okay. Now see what happened. All at once, snap, and there was Claude standing with a bit of cord in his hand looking foolish. Our kite had sailed away over to the mainland. Now what happened was that it was a bad luck. What happened? The kite went to the mainland. Okay, and then Claude was just standing with a cord in his hand. He was looking very foolish. Okay, who says? The narrator says. Okay, so with this, your unit 2 ends. Coming to unit 3. Now see, you know what was that story in the middle, what had happened? Let me tell you that thing very properly. Then only you will understand. See, basically what happened was that the kite flow which was there, okay, where did the kite go? Where did the kite go? The kite, okay, it went, okay, to the mainland. It went to the mainland. Understand properly, because here the twist of the story is, okay. And where did Dick and Mimi live? They used to live into the island. So island से उड़ा रहा था kite, उड़ करके mainland पे आकर के गिर गया. And mainland, used to live in mainland. There too, everybody, their aunt, उनकी, what you say that, fufi, understood which you say that, father's sister. You know what you say that? Yes, Bua or somebody, understood? And Bua's 2 children, that is Dick and Mimi, they used to live where? Into the mainland. Okay. So now what happened? It was fortunately, क्या हुआ? Dick and Mimi, both of them, they found this kite. Clear? They found this kite, and what happened was that in the kite, I told you, there was a letter. There was a letter. I told you, उन्होंने एक letter से kite के ऊपर चिपकाया था ऐसे. Clear? So there was a letter. Clear? Dick and Mimi got this kite. They saw that letter and they took that letter to mom. That, see mom, what I found. Okay. Then Aunt Esther ने वो letter को जैसे ही देखा, she understood that this is that old letter that Aunt Esther had written to her brother. Clear? And then Aunt Esther was shocked that this is that old letter that I have written to my brother. That means my brother is still there. Okay? And ये letter मेरे पास अभी कहाँ से आ गया? I don't know. Now, वो letter को देखते हुए same address में what happened? Esther again wrote a letter to her brother. Clear? Now see what happens. Unit 3. Unit 3, over understand, you will see that a month later, a letter came for father. After he finished reading, his eyes looked as if he had been crying. Now what happened was that, one fine day, Unit 3, okay, we are starting from a new paragraph. ये सब भूल जाओ, discuss कर रहे हैं फिर से. In here, what happens was that the story begins where father is reading a letter, okay, and that letter is been given by whom? That letter was a letter which was sent by Aunt Esther. Understood? And he was reading the letter and his eyes were as if filled with tears. Clear? Then what happened was that, then father, after reading the letter, father asked to Claude and the narrator, do you want to know what became of your kite? आपको पता आपका kite का क्या हुआ? He said. Then he sat down beside us and told us the whole story. Then father told the whole story. Clear? Father had a brother and a sister. He had quarreled with his brother and left home. This I told you. Years afterward, he felt sorry, and when he went back, he found his brother had died and he couldn't find his sister. Clear? The letter father had just received was from his sister. So the letter that father had just received, जो letter पढ़ के पापा रोने जैसा हो गया था, that letter was sent by whom? From the Esther. That is the aunt. Okay, Aunt Esther, mother of Dick and Mimi. Aunt Esther was the mother of Dick and Mimi. उसने वो letter भेजा था, जो letter को पढ़ करके father was like about to cry. Clear? Who was Aunt Esther? Aunt Esther was a widow. Widow, you know, she was a widow who had lived hundreds of miles inland. So she used to live miles inside an island. One day, when Dick and Mimi were out in the woods, they discovered the kite on top of a tree and carried it home. So who got this kite? Dick and Mimi one day got this kite, and Dick and Mimi took this kite to home and showed it to Esther. Esther saw this letter on the kite and understood that this is the letter that I had written to my brother. Again, Aunt Esther wrote a letter to the father, and father was reading it and he was allowed to cry because he started feeling very nostalgic. Nostalgic is a new word. Nostalgic means to feel very nostalgic or nostalgic. Clear? The noun form is nostalgia. The noun form is nostalgia. This is nostalgic. Clear? Now what happened was that basically father started feeling very nostalgic. That means the emotional kind of a thing. Very sorry kind of a thing. So then what happened was that you can see when their mother saw the kite. When the mother saw the kite that Esther and Dick and Mimi had brought. And the letter on that kite, she turned pale. Pale means fika pad jana, chehra ka rang chala jana, understood? She turned pale. That means the color had vanished from her face. It was the very letter that she had once written to her brother. And she understood that yes, this is that letter that I had written to my brother. Philippa was his mother's name and Claude was her father's name. This is something underlined it. This is out of the story. Something is there which is written. Like you have to understand a full story if you want to understand this line. So just put a bracket on this line, negate this line so that you can understand more properly. She knew who we must be. So she sat down and wrote to Big Half Moon, and father received the letter. So now what happened? Seeing this letter, she understood that this kite must be made by Claude and me, and then she wrote a letter to whom? To father. Understood? Looking at this letter. Now what happened was that she sat down and she again wrote a letter to Big Half Moon, and then today we got this letter. Ye sab kaun bata raha tha? Everything was told by whom? By the father. Clear? Next day, father went and brought Aunt Esther, Dick and Mimi with him. They have been there ever since. Aunt Esther is dear and Dick and Mimi are jolly too. 4 words. But the best of it is that we have relations now. So next day, after getting the letter, father goes to his sister, and he brings Esther, Dick and Mimi with him back to the island. Now they live together and they are in relations now. Now they don't miss any kind of family. Understood? So with this we understood that what is the importance of family life, what is the importance of family, why should they live together, collective belongingness. All the things are explained in this lesson. Very beautiful. So with this we come to the end of this beautiful session. I hope you enjoyed it. We are meeting very soon. Till then, take care.